Okay.
Well, I have shared that.
That's my standard.
The start.
You are live.
We're live. Yeah.
We're live.
So I kind of thought what we would do is we would start the meeting,
Yeah.
go over these few absentee ballots, and then you will recess until the absentee are ready. To do. So, yeah.
Well, let's do that. This meeting is progress. Yeah. We're gonna be chatting, so you can actually hear us.
Oh, good idea. Yeah.
Speakerphone.
Yeah, but I hated to pull it all the way over, so let's see if we can actually get this audio.
From a slide.
Yep.
Okay, well, let's start with a review of rejected or approved. How many absentees did we have over?
So we had 152 that have returned.
Oh, okay.
And then we have gone through all of them. We have, 6 that were rejected.
Okay.
We have 15 that are Uwakava remakes, so that we will have to remake those tomorrow. We have 4 that the DS200 rejected. And we have 3 pages of so the Fayetteville ballot, because it's a 2-sheet ballot. If it rejected the front page, we pulled both pages. But if it accepted the front page, we don't want to pull the front page because it's in the ballot box. So we have 3 back pages that didn't go through. So what will happen is the ballot count is accurate. We will have to add those by recreating them on the actual printer. And they just will contribute to the total of those questions, but not the actual ballot count, because the front page is the one that holds the counting part of it. So we'll have those remakes for tomorrow. And then we have 2 reviews. Well, we have one that when we processed it and canvassed it, the voter ID was not found. However, when we opened up the ballot, I noticed a couple of things. One, it had an instant runoff ballot in it, which those are really for military or civilian overseas. And then I noticed that the back page was the Uwakava instructions and not regular instructions. So I called the county clerk because this one didn't have ID, because I had checked to see if they were military. So I called the clerk to get clarification if this actually should have been a Uwakava ballot, and it should have been. So this individual is actually, well, they've got marked U.S. United States citizen, but they kept telling me that it was I think they meant to mark I'm an active service, so we may still want to ask. But all those earmarks tells me that, yes, so I think we may still, let me get clarification from the clerk again, because, and see what we need to put there, because I do think that this one might not have to have ID, so I will look at that again. So that is one that we have that is for review. And that name is, James Cantrell. So, but the special run-on ballot, those are only Uwakava ones. That's what kind of made me think that possibly, yes, possibly that it needed. Yeah, let me call, well, I think I can call the clerk and get the clerk's verification. So, yeah. So then there's that one. And then this one is this one is no ID as well, but it's just a normal WD. This one was in the rejected list, but when I did some further inspection on it, it actually did have an ID and a voter statement in it. So we can count this ballot, so it will be one that we will add to our count. If it does have the ID, it has the voter statement, the signatures match, the address matches, and the date of birth matches. So this one will be one that we'll go ahead and add to our count. So that's not on this one, except that we're canvassing in. So this is the Mary Houston.
I think from the.
Okay, yes, and yes, that was what threw them on knowing if what the ballot was. But that one, you can see that the address, date of birth, signature, and all of that matches, and they do have ID.
Thanks for the teaching.
Yes, because when we get to the rejected ballots, there's one in there.
Oh.
That was why I pulled the cheat sheet out.
Yeah.
Did you actually make it larger rather than screen?
Yes.
The example. As far as I was concerned, that she didn't receive it until late.
Yeah.
She requested the time, but she didn't receive it by a certain time, and then we asked her how she got it, and so that was an option.
That did. So these next set are ones that are rejected. So this is wife's ballot envelope. This is husband's ballot envelope. Wife's voter statement is in husband's is in wife. So these are rejected because they are not appropriately marked. So, and the team, you know, the only reason this got caught like this is because they both were returned at the same time. We alphabetized and the team received them. So these are both rejected, for that reason.
Do we need to do their names?
No, we have done it, during, the canvassing, but we can, it's Karen and William. So, yes, I know. So the next one is, but yeah, that is what happened. Okay. This next one is, date of birth. Does not match. So this one has date of birth is May 85. This one has date of birth as May 2. So this one would not be. So we cannot use external other things. It has to be the voter statement to the voter application. So yeah. So that one.
No way, that 5 or 2 in the same.
It's pretty, it's not, I mean, there's no, I mean, yeah, it's pretty, I feel like it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
That
I
one
can't
is
read,
a
it's really
2.
messy.
One is a 2 and one is a 5. I feel like those are pretty clear
Yeah.
that's what they are.
Oh, because it is affected.
And that absolutely, or they were writing February, you know, too,
Yeah.
and so, yeah, absolutely.
Number 2 or 5 days after me.
So that is,
Whichever way, however we can count it, that's what I'm talking about.
and then. This next one is. The right way. Okay. So this is why you have the chart. I know, this is why we have the chart. Okay, so this one was returned by a designated bearer. Okay. And so this is the voter statement. Where there is no designation for a designated bearer. And there, so yeah. So that's why this one is a reject and not a provisional, because and if you'll look, your chart shows you, so the chart shows you that if there is a return envelope with a name, but the voter statement is blank, that is a reject. And so this one was unfortunately rejected.
Will we send letters out?
We do, yes, we do. So
Everything else was right on.
everything else was right. The only thing that wasn't done right was there should have been a designation in here that this was a bear.
Yeah.
So,
Do
yeah,
we tell them when we reject it?
yes, we do.
Because we say it's all highlighted.
We can. We don't have to. We usually- I know. Sure.
They don't, might not understand it. Yeah.
That one.
I still like.
Prerequisites for whether you like law or something.
Yes.
That's what was pretty serious.
Have to have a chart.
Yeah, if you have to have a chart, you got a problem.
I have a hard time understanding.
Yeah, yeah.
And then these last two are signatures.
We'll have to go.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's the first time.
So this is one, and then this is, so that's the signature on the application, then this is the signature on the voter statement.
And can't look at the license.
We're not supposed to. Or to the.
Pieces of information. That's all.
Can we tell when this was signed and then when this was signed?
Signature, yeah, and then the signature here.
Trying to explain.
Yeah.
Especially that. I agree, I was just trying to hopefully
I don't.
Give everybody a benefit.
But if doubt that something could happen between if there's stroke or emergency or.
Even at that, it's difficult to say. Because
Well, the interesting thing about it is some of the other. Actually, what's up here, I'm not sure. If somebody else is still.
They should have that person sign their spot.
And it is a really common misconception that if you have power of attorney, that the
Right.
power of attorney allows you to sign for someone. In most cases, it does, with the exception of voting. That is the one place where power of attorney does not allow you to sign for an individual. Yeah, that's what I suspect too.
that's enough.
Yeah. Begrudgingly.
You know, like I said, you want to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, but sometimes it's impossible to do.
The last one is another signature one as well. The voter statement, and this is the signature on the application.
I like that. I can read this one. All the other.
Yeah.
I like that.
Wondered about that too, but it almost would appear instead of an Adobe form, that maybe they had a tablet they signed on. Maybe, I don't know, I don't know that these forms are available in that manner. Except some Adobe, these Adobe forms aren't fillable.
Right, a lot of times you can just save it as a PDF, transfer it to
Yeah.
Adobe and then
So,
do a
but-
nasty signature.
Yeah, so, but I just. Think that's,
Your work.
so, or check.
Well, very
Okay.
fortunate. I'm quite unfortunate.
Like, can we?
This one,
Okay, yay.
this one had been in the reject pile. And when I went back through the reject pile to, you know, just
Yeah.
one more look at them, it had marked that the, voter statement and ID was missing, but I think what threw them was that it came this way. So I went back through, so this one is a win. So, yeah, it had been in the reject pile. So. Then, so we have, so in essence, we have two provisionals out of the absentees. This one for the ID until I can get clarification. And the other one, this voter, we will notify that their ID was not included with their absentee, which means that they actually have until Monday following the election to bring their ID back. So these two consider provisional. This one, I can't verify that this is military, just from the statements. The things surrounding it,
I'll say that.
I'll say that it is, but the actual statement itself does not. So,
Oh, they marked the wrong box.
and that could be, but the fact that it was Okava and all of that, and so it's one. The extra person. So then we've got a question for commission's permission, I will go ahead and add this to our totals. Okay.
Camera on, they all scattered. Oh, I did.
Still here, it's sad. And, you know, you get where you're oblivious. Right.
And tell me your secrets off the camera. Oh.
Sweet corn, blah, blah. Very much. Oh, that. That's because I'm not thinking about it. The beans not back there. So. And until the polls come, or the, polls close at 7:30, we will. Whoever is here, I'll just get their email addresses from them and add them, to the email thing because. We sign up. No, my computer is right there. I think, and I don't know how many people are actually gonna come. I will get them added. We will print out early and absentee results for the commission. It's like 20 pages a piece, so I think we'll just print for the commission and then we will email out for everyone else. We will post to our website. We will also post to the Secretary of State's website, but that's a different thing. So okay. So we're gonna recess until then, unless the commission has any other items. So tomorrow at 10 o'clock, Renee, I believe, is coming here to watch us do remakes. Yeah. And then on Thursday at 9, we will meet to tabulate the remakes and to do any reviews for provisionals. We have 12 provisionals from early vote. We might have 20 or so. I haven't looked to see what election day is like. So yeah, so. We have a good turn. So we have early vote turnout was great. Yeah, it was greater than what we've ever seen for a primary election. Election day has been busy for Fayetteville. Springdale has not been very busy.
Those issues or whatever.
Fayetteville does, yes, so Fayetteville definitely has been busy. Farmington has been busy, Greenland's been fairly busy. They do, and so the turnout has been a little different, and I really think that that's what's driving it a lot, as well as the primary candidates, but yeah, and we are still almost at the same amount of Republican ballots cast as Democratic ballots cast. Yeah, it's still, even election day, I thought election day might get a little lopsided, but it hasn't. So yeah,
Good.
so
Maybe you've gotten a lot of complaints or issues with optional.
So yes, that is so difficult for voters to understand, and I do think that maybe when we get to 2028, we discuss with the powers that be that, okay, in voter view, you are registered as optional. When you show up in the poll book, it shows nonpartisan. And so then there's that assumption, well, does that mean I have to take the nonpartisan ballot? So I do think that there is definitely confusion on that whole optional, and probably because this election, we had the kind of semi-closed primary. Everyone started really paying attention, oh, how am I registered to vote? Because it didn't matter.
Right.
And so, that optional that they saw in voter view not being the same in the poll book. So I think that will be a discussion, obviously for the general election, it's not a discussion, but when we get to 2028, that will be a discussion, and maybe we can get them to change the language. If not in voter view, I think ES&S can change the language for us, on how they want to put it in there for us.
Maybe that.
Yeah, something, because I think where the optional came from is because the intent on the form was it's optional. And so in voter view, they just put them all as optional instead of just, yeah.
Part.
Yeah, it feels that way, instead of just leaving it blank, you know, in voter
Yeah.
view, it almost should have just been left blank. So yeah, so,
Yeah. Basically,
Yeah.
Put it on bulletin as an option and. This is the part.
Yeah. So that part definitely has been confusing. We have had a lot of nonpartisan ballots cast. I think we're close to 1,000, possibly nonpartisan ballots cast. So yeah, so, and whether that, we have had calls from voters who have called to say that they didn't get to vote for, party
Because they went ahead and went for nonpartisan.
because that's how they're registered to vote or how there are. And so we have been really careful about not, because we don't want our poll workers to over explain,
Right,
because
right.
then that becomes problematic. We had signage, you know, but still there are voters. It's confusing. Of course, you know, ultimately voters, if they don't put their ballot in the ballot box, we can fix it.
Right.
And a lot of times they don't realize till they're walking out the door, oh, hey, wait a minute,
Yeah.
I think there was something
have that.
else I meant to vote for. Yeah, it's kind of, so, but yeah.
So with that being said, were there a higher number of spoiled or rejected or?
So for a primary, yes, there always is. That number we know is typical, so that's not atypical. So that's just kind of, that's normal. So yeah, so. But we have had a lot of, just from early vote, I haven't seen what election day looks like, but from early vote, we've had quite a few party affiliation change cards filled out and
Yeah.
completed, and that process, once we got past the first day and everybody kind of, you know, kind of like actually had real world experience doing it, it went pretty smoothly. But yeah, so.
What about your explanation? Signs, were those? Did you get a response that those were helpful or that those were?
I didn't see any feedback, but the sheer number of party affiliation
Oh,
changes that we
yeah.
had probably leads me to think that it was helpful, that it was easy for them to understand what it was that they were doing. But a lot of voters came in knowing that, you know, that they needed to do that party affiliation change. And ultimately, you know, voters got the ballot of their choice. You know, sometimes it might have taken an extra phone call to figure out. The one thing that we did have happen is if a registered Democrat took a, let's say, a Democratic ballot and then changed their mind that they wanted a Republican ballot, we could not reissue, and then the clerk could not change their party affiliation without canceling their ballot. So we have several voters who we had to go in and cancel their ballots